Then the other argument you hear, and this is one I hear a lot about rugby, and one that I would tend to make even with my job as strength and conditioning for rugby players, is rugby is primarily a skill and a tactics-based sport as well as a collision sport. Those elements are just as big. So they would say, well, I don't really think steroids would do you any good in this sport. I mean, where are we at with that?
Again, that's kind of a very silly argument. Think about this. And again, people just lack that. I said, think about this. That's the part where most people just kind of fall off the bicycle and, skin their knee and cry. So, anything that requires thinking is, it's like annoying and tiring and they don't want to do it. But momentarily, hike up your drawers and think about this. Okay. What is the major difference between a 10-year-old boy and a 20-year-old man?
Size.
Okay. Yeah. Size, muscle, deeper voice, erections. You can name a lot of stuff.
Puberty. Yeah.
Every single one of those things you can name is the product of testosterone. So apparently testosterone in some way aids in the you throw like a girl to you throw like a professional athlete.
Mm-hmm.
So if it could take an androgynous blank template that is a child and turn it into a man, it's completely reasonable. I mean, just not beyond the imagination to say if you gave more to a man, it might do more of that.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit. That's what you call logic. And it hurts. Oh, it's painful. Right now, there's loads of people just holding their ass right now. Like, that stings a little bit. I don't like that.
Okay. Then another one I hear is, and this is one I've seen it as well. You see guys that take steroids, or they'll take, it will be steroids definitely for this example, and it will make them a worse player. They'll put on size, and then they'll just be worse, and they'll blame the steroids because they say, oh, well, the steroids made me lose my conditioning, I couldn't run as well, etc. Like, is that a thing?
Oh, absolutely, 100%. But that's not the fault of the drugs. That's fault of the execution of the overall training regime. Again, let's not use my opinion. Let's use, historical fact. Lance Armstrong confessed to using testosterone. Lance Armstrong was not overly muscular, and he was kind of good at that whole cardio thing. Like, just kind of. I mean, marginally.
All right.
So I'm going to say that's, somebody who bought a gun, shot themselves in the foot, and then said, God damn it, guns are terrible.
All right. Yeah. It's actually, I do have to say that Lance Armstrong, that guy, he broke my heart when he confessed to all that, because I read the books and I was like, this guy is the most wholesome guy. But then that begins to open up your eyes as to what is shitty and what is, if you look at the Tour de France over the years, it's just, I think you have to get to like 19th place or something to find someone that's, well, maybe they probably still have taken something, but they just didn't pop on a test. It is kind of ridiculous.
It's just absolutely silly. I mean, I could lament on the topic forever, but there's just no coherence to any of the arguments whatsoever, including, to some degree, even including the we need to make you hear this as an argument a lot. Well, if it's not to protect the athletes, it's to make a level playing field. I hear that one all the time, a level playing field. And I will remind anyone who wants a level playing field that I'm 164 centimeters tall. So every morning when I get up and I make breakfast, I, being 164 centimeters, cannot reach the implements on the top shelf. And my wife, who is 185 centimeters, will come and get it for me and hand it to me. There is no level playing field.
Right. Yeah, I see it when I do
It's a
jiu-jitsu.
fact.
People say, "I'll stop using your strength," and I'll say, "Well, you stop using your speed because you're smaller. You can move faster. That's not fair." Like I wouldn't say the
Right.
same thing.
Right. That's like saying, yes, stop using your right hand. Like, well, it's
Yeah,
ridiculous. There is no such thing as a level playing field. That's literally the defining concept of humanity. We're not, carbon copy templates. So
and
there's just no coherence to their arguments whatsoever.
and you see that with rugby if you look into it, where you've got this group of island, the Pacific Islanders, who are extremely genetically blessed, and the rest of the rugby world just wants to take advantage of those without letting them stand out and be the best players that they are. Like, they have the academies now, French academies are getting set up over there and stuff because they have the genetics. And it's like, I thought you were trying to make this a level playing field. This isn't fair.
Right, exactly. It's just there's no coherence to the arguments whatsoever. So could anabolic steroids or any other number of drugs make an athlete better? Of course. Could they make an athlete worse? Of course. Mm-hmm. But in that same breath, that same athlete could gain weight via body fat and get so now are you saying, well, donuts were just as bad for me as steroids? They impacted my game just as negatively. Like it's just a ridiculous argument.
It's the same argument that people make when they just say that generically, when they just throw out, oh, well, you don't want to put on muscle because muscle will make you slow. And obviously that's been debunked. So you would take that one step further.
Yeah,
right?
that's just a goofy argument too.
Okay.
So there's just really no version of this that makes sense. It's like any other tool. It's like buying a gun. You need a certain amount of education and skill when wielding it. And if you wield it poorly, the outcome will probably not be as good as you hope. But that's a very reasonable approach to pretty much everything.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.